Hello, Sage here on the Sage channel, and welcome back to another episode of Singular Survival. Yep, it's been a little while since I played, and one of the biggest updates that came out since I last played is the Demon Dogs, or the Cyberhounds, or whatever they're called. Cyber Dogs, was it? I believe it was just Cyber Dogs or Cyberhounds, one of those. But the main point is, what those about, I'm going to disable all the walkways leading up to the base, except for maybe one. I think I'll leave a jump way. I actually did load up this world earlier, about a week ago, after the Cyberhounds were first released, just to see how they would actually respond to it without actually saving. And, well, they failed to... I hear guns firing, so they're probably, yeah, shooting them already. Creepy. We don't have much ammo on those guns, so I gotta do this quick. But what I found is that they probably won't path and find their way up on top of our platforms using these ramps, but it's my theory that one must, or should be, better safe than sorry. And my nose has just clogged itself. Alright, nose has been cleared. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cut down the majority of this stuff. I think this one right here, my plan for this is basically, I'm gonna cut this right here, this... what was my plan here? I'm going to cut in like this. I'm going to cut these two pieces out, put little dinky ramps in, and then just have a gap right here. Where basically the idea is you jump across it. So hopefully, if the Cyberhounds do get pathing, or Cyberdogs, or whatever you want to call them, do get pathing AI at some point, that actually does get them up ramps, they won't be able to make this jump. So that should hopefully keep us safe and sound. Let's also turn on our light, that way we're not playing in the dark. Alright, got that and got that. Cool. And we're going to go ahead and remove these panels here just so this is like fully separated from the actual station. I don't think we really need to do that, but I'm just doing that for, I don't know, it makes me feel safer just knowing this is separated. So if we ever come back here and we're out of jetpack fuel, we can just hop over that, and hopefully the Cyberhounds or dogs or whatnot won't be able to do that. Also, some people were suggesting that I tear down that walkway instead of this, and well, that's part of our make sure our base is safe from Cyberhounds. We need to do that anyway, and we're going to do that probably right here, separate of this part. But we're going to get our, what did I name the ship? The Bob Evans. We're going to get Evans. What should we call it? Just Bob Evans. Bob Evans. Can we try to say it really quickly and just squish it all into one? Bob Evans. Bob Evans. It still sounds like the restaurant, which I'm. I had a French toast today. What the? Did anyone else think the whole station was, flying into the sky there? Because I did. That was genuinely terrifying. What was I saying? French toast today. Speaking of Bob Evans, I usually do breakfast, if you don't know. It's a restaurant here in Americas. I had some French toast today. Meine Mutter was kind enough to pick up a wonderful thing called French toast in a box. Basically, it's not actually its name, but it's a bunch of French toast from Sam's Club, if you've ever seen it. And I went ahead and had about 14 of those today. That was my breakfast and lunch. I had it all about at 1 o'clock. So my belly is on the way to being the biggest belly in the whole Western world. Anyway, let's go ahead, hop in this vehicle. Yes, something people were suggesting. It's funny, one of the videos I put out was, of course, just me planning this ship out, and I'd left off the gyroscopes. In the next video, I, of course, point them out. But it's sort of interesting that one of the things I didn't put on this thing were lights. And nope, they still haven't made it so you put interior lights on it. You have to use the slightly more laggy, I believe, exterior lights. Do we have any other hotbar? I don't think so. There's one right there, a number 2 slot. Nearly missed that. So we'll go ahead and put these in as well. And I think we're going to put them right here, 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 and here. Should give us more than enough light, if looking not exactly beautiful. And we just need interior plates and construction components for all these. It's really nice and simple. Wait. Other people were a bit annoyed that I had my cockpit off-center, you know, defying symmetry. But I kind of like it. It feels more like an industrial construction vehicle, because often you get certain components on industrial construction vehicles being slightly offset. Like, let's say those gigantic, what are they called? Those giant trucks for mines and stuff like that. They have those the giant dump trucks that the big machine digs up the earth and dumps it into it. Those things often, oh my god, that took a bunch. I was control clicking thinking, oh, it'll just take some of them. No, it took 10 each click, of course, like it's supposed to. But those giant dump truck things, they have, you know, their driver's seats are usually off to the side, I believe. So it only seemed right to me to have an industrial vehicle with the seats slightly off to the side. Also, I think, yeah, our batteries are just slowly ticking down. They should be fine. Oh, what else? Oh, we forgot our interior plates. Luckily we can grab those there. Also, if you've ever used a digger, sometimes it feels like their seats should be offset. My father was kind enough to rent himself... Wait, kind enough? My father rented himself a digger to work on some ditches on the property. And what I found very annoying when I was helping him out and working on it a bit too, is that the main arm for the drill is... Let's get to our main cargo so we're not just sitting still while I'm talking, eh? A bit silly if I'm just sitting here. There we go. The main arm on it is right in front, and so was the seat, which is a bit of an issue when you're trying to dig something because, well, you're aligned with the arm so you can see where it's going left to right pretty well, but not so much forward back because the arm is actually blocking your view, which was, well, a little bit annoying. There we go, we got our lights. The glare is just about unbearable. We might have to rethink this, not right now, we'll rethink it later. Let's go ahead and press P. Let's see, did that unlock us from the bottom? It did. Somebody pointed out in one of my previous videos I might have been pressing O, like an imbecile. Let's also go ahead and go to our number 3 slot, and let's turn... Oh, number 2? Number 2. Okay, number 3 is going to get a new friend today. We're going to get the connector. Where is our connector? It should be right in front of me. Aha! Blind Sage is blind. I was looking for, of course, the small ship version. I expected it to have an icon for that for some reason. Cool. So now that we got our lights, we can go out here. And the most important thing we're probably going to do is just want to listen for those demon dogs while we're working on this, because otherwise we're going to, well, lose everything, which would be extremely unfortunate. So let's go ahead, hover ourselves over here. Let's do a number 2, do a number 1. There we go. Huh, it kept all of our controls just because we're only in control of the camera. We're not actually in a remote control. That's pretty cool. And let's start drilling. There we go. I say drilling, grinding this away and get all of our stuff. Cool. Nice and simple like. As I was saying with that digger arm, it would have just been nice if that was offset a little bit. Of course with this, I don't really need it offset, but I just wanted to sort of get that same feel. I'll probably end up painting this thing bright orange or something in the future as well. I also appear to be hovering upwards, or this is sinking into the ground. I'm going to assume the ship is hovering upwards, even though it doesn't make much sense. Oh, and someone else also pointed a cool fact out. The fact that you don't actually have to have all of your welders necessarily hooked up into the piping system. You can just have one of your welders hooked into the piping system. They'll put the needed parts into the actual thing, and then all the other welders just basically weld it up from that point. It's pretty nifty. I never really thought of it like that, but that's actually a pretty cool approach. Very, very cool, actually. I didn't use it for this ship, but I might keep it in mind in the future whenever I'm adding on welders or anything like that. Shame grinders don't work the same way. You do, of course, need the grinder to be able to transfer the components in some manner. By the way, I'm of course getting this down because we severed it and it apparently wasn't connected to the ground. It also instantly fell to the ground. This is just going to give us a ton of not construction bones, but those metal grids and also steel plates. That way we can, well, whenever we build up our main ship or our next ship, we're going to be, well, ready to go. We won't have to worry about producing any steel plates or anything like that, and if need be, we can of course recycle them. Just listening for beeps. You know what I think would be a really fantastic feature is if we went to our cargo. Here we go, large cargo. It sort of gives us a volume number. This number always seems like it wants to change. Let's go. Oh, are we bumping into something a little bit? Sage. Let's not get ourselves killed here. Move forward gently. Yeah, let's go in the third person, shall we? Exit this silly camera. Press T. Yeah, we're bumping into something like an imbecile. We're just going to go left or right and not try to go forward there. But something I think would be... Ooh, turrets are actually a pretty good warning system. We're just going to leave the turrets on for now. We need magnesium to build more ammunition. I think it's the main thing. Oof, not sure if I have any currently. Dang. Yeah, we're going to be in trouble when those run out. Maybe if we're lucky, they'll still target them, so we'll at least be able to see the red dots coming at us, even if we don't really see anything else. Whew, let's keep mining through here. I think I'm just going to stay in the cockpit view, that way I can look over and actually see how those are aligned, just like I was talking about. Oh, and also I turned on auto-saving. So basically it's just extra punishment, so if I screw up really seriously, I can't really just fall back in 2 seconds. I have to actually deal with my mistakes. You know, yeah, I haven't ever rolled back one of these, but I don't know, I just like knowing that I won't be able to cheat like that. I mean, I could technically go back to an earlier save because I actually, you know, every time I stop recording pretty much, I'll do a pretty hefty save, like I'll do a save as, and wow, why is that sparking over the top left? Don't tell me a turret did a stupid and shot the damn thing. But every time I stop recording, pretty much I do a save as and make a new fallback save, just in case, you know, it gets corrupted or something stupid. But those are sort of infrequently. Very infrequently, usually. But as I was saying, about a feature I would like to see, I would really like to see that whenever we go in here and we look at our cargo container, that instead of it just giving us, you know, you have this much out of this much number. Okay, that's pretty cool. I'd also just like to see it above that, maybe a percentage full. Like, it's 25% full. Oh, by the way, look at this. My frame rate's just died pretty much. This is something very odd. If I didn't put a video out on it, but me and the guys did a Warhammer sort of style battle thing. A lot of that, my FPS dropped like this. I'm getting 6 FPS right now, 6 to 8, and it's bouncing about. No idea why, but I found a way to fix it. Options, display, go to windowed mode. Okay. No, don't keep these settings. Okay, it's fixed it. My FPS is back up to where it was, which is only 24. Mind you, I have a 980, which is, I don't know. The video is going to be playing back on YouTube at 60, but I'm recording at 23, and sometimes it gets lucky and jumps all the way up to 60 depending on what's around me. Right now, in the dark, if I was to go ahead and turn off our lights, boop, we saw a 3 FPS increase. So FPS is bouncing about a bit in this, I find. I was amazed to hear that some people with lower end, or not lower end, but rigs with 970s were actually reporting like 60 FPS in areas. I'm like, what? I get that too, but you know, often I find myself in a boat like right now where I get 23 FPS. What's going on? I think it's something to do with the CPU utilization or either CPU single core speed, where the idea is that each core needs to be faster. Whereas my computer has 8 cores, it's a super high-end like multitask, you know, you're going to be doing a lot of work on here, good for video editing is the idea, and a billion other little things. But I guess the idea for a lot of games is you want each individual core to be really fast, and each of my cores are only like 3 gigahertz, so that could be a trouble, or it could be my memory speed, because I have 3200, I think it is 3200 or 3400 memory speed, and about 16 gigs of it, but the idea there is that because it's technically above my CPU's speed, which was the 3000, you know, 3 gigahertz is 3000, it might be bottlenecking a bit. I've had some issues with that trying to set it, so I'm thinking I might need to actually replace my RAM with something a little bit slower, but that would actually run at the proper speed it's advertised. Instead of what it gets dropped down to right now is really stupid. It gets dropped down to actually 2400 for some god-awful reason. I am holding Q, and this ship is just refusing. There we go, it's tilting a little bit. If I hover up, will it now tilt? Maybe I was bumping the ground a little bit. Maybe just a little tiny. It's a kind of a beautiful sight, honestly, right now, isn't it? This just hover vehicle lighting up stuff in front of it. Well, wow, that's kind of a beautiful sight. Let's move it, move it. There we go. That's pretty nifty, actually. It's such a weird-looking ship at night. I really should color it yellow. But yeah, I was finding that I was holding Q right there and it wasn't rotating. I had to fly up a little bit to try to rotate it to keep us level. Very odd. Don't know what that's all about. You know, hovering down here, of course I have a minor fear of those self-destructing dogs. I don't know, I have sort of mixed feelings. I've heard a lot of the community is a little bit upset at them, as if they make things too difficult, because I can honestly see that if you're building, you know, your base like you would expect on a planet, you know, nice walls or something, and all of a sudden those bastards come up and after you and blow up your whole facility, it's really annoying, especially if they spawn close to you, which I have had happen where they spawn, you know, 2 feet away from you, because they seem to spawn anywhere on terrain. I think they really need to look into a system where, sort of like we might have heard, if you've watched the Joint Survival on the other guy's channel, he sort of mentioned the ideas of them spawning farther away and then having other deterrents, but absolutely, at a bare minimum, the devs really need to get it so that no enemy will spawn within like a 100-meter radius of anything you've built, and preferably anything you built that has power. That way you could actually... Why does it say drill ship atmosphere is moving? It still says it's only 34 meters away from me. Did you see that? There, look at the top left of my screen. It's just the pointer's moving. Whatever, as I was saying, if they made it so nothing could spawn within like a 100-meter radius, or even maybe a 50-meter radius of anything you've built and that currently has power, you could basically build up your base with walls, and then if something attacked you, they would actually have to go through your walls proper. And then with these dogs, the fact that they run in a straight line and they don't seem to be able to path very well, you could literally just build a trench, and it would be, boop, job's done. You wouldn't even have to worry about turrets. Now the bugs, the idea that they can burrow under stuff is sort of ruins that, but maybe well, that's where we have that idea of, in the Joint Survival series, we've mentioned a thumper. That would sort of prevent them from popping out of the ground near you, prevent them from spawning near you was the original idea. Now I think the best idea actually is that we'd have the thumper, instead of prevent them from spawning near you, because I don't think anything should be able to spawn within like a 50 block radius of anything you've built that has power, I think maybe the thumper, what it would do is actually prevent the bugs from burrowing or burrowing out of the ground. So you could put thumpers around your walls, so when the bugs spawn and come for your base, instead of them burrowing and then going straight to you, the thumper would prevent them from being able to burrow, so they'd pop out and have to get through your wall defenses, or they'd fall into your trench and try to climb back out. I think that would actually be pretty damn nifty, honestly. Sorry, by the way, that a lot of this footage is just me mining. I wanted to get this done, and I found myself talking while doing it, haven't I? Oh, dearie, dearie, dearie. It's also at night, which is always a little bit, odd. We also haven't had a dog attack in, like, what, 5-10 minutes, it seems? Gotten pretty lucky on that. Let's also go ahead and check our inventory. Cargo container. We're getting actually kind of close to full, but look at all those metal grids and steel plates we got. That is pretty nifty. And I don't even have to hold left click anymore because I was holding that when I went into the menu, so it's just going to stay on now. Yay! Oh, no, it shut off. I really should just put the buttons on here, shouldn't I? Like, what do you call it? I have to make groups, don't I? That's nice and simple, isn't it? Welder, so we can get our welders. Oh, wected? No, welders. Thank you very much. And then grinders. Grinders, thank you very much. Nice and easy, and we'll just turn that on. And while it's working, we'll hover over to our left a little bit, and just sit right there, so they can work while we're in our inventory. This screen. And let's just grab our groups. Toggle block on and off, toggle block on and off. Easy. Nice and easy. This has all worked out pretty well. I also do seem to remember that if we go into K, we should have a remote control block here. There we go. We're going to make our group with that. Oh, and our drills went off the area, so we got to move our ship. There we go. And what we're doing with this is actually just future-proofing. So in the future, if I need to use this thing from afar, we have the control thing right there. So I can take control of the ship. And while we're working, we're just going to go ahead and really quickly... we finished off that section. It was a bit smaller than expected. Move ourselves over a little bit. Grab another one. There we go. Maybe fly down a tiny, tiny bit. There we are. Make sure we're hitting them. Yeah, these are going quick. Yikes. Will I even have time to put anything on our hotbar? Oh, there's another autosave. Wonderful. It's a bit of a shame that there still isn't any UI scaling in this game. I'm playing at 1080p right now, but I have a 4K screen for most things. Most games I don't have enough power to actually run them at 4K, but it means that when I'm browsing the web, when I'm editing videos, I use a 4K monitor. So I'm used to very tiny text, so having the text and everything in this game be so big is a bit uncomfortable, honestly, for me. Of course, I guess on YouTube the idea is it's big, but hey, if I need to point something out, I can always just enlarge it in post while I'm editing said video. Oh god. Do we want to fly away or just stick on the ground? I'm going to stick on the ground for now. See, right now I'm holding Q to rotate the ship. We're not touching, but nothing's happening. It's really odd how that happens. There, I'm moving the mouse up a little bit. That let us turn the ship. That's very odd how it's Q and E don't really want to work half the time. Oh, we failed to get a piece. Look at that. It's like right between the drills. Anyway, let's go ahead and really quickly get our welder, get our drill, go our groups, get our welder, get our drill. Cool. And then we're going to go to our number 2 button, get our camera. I know the drills are done. And then what else do we need? Our number 3 button. That's where we're going to have all of our reactors and stuff, right? So we need to have our reactor first. Where'd you go? There you are. Toggle block on and off, I think is what I had there. And then for our batteries, same thing with you. Cool. And I think currently we have our batteries set to do the... There we go. Batteries set to do the pretty much automatic thing where if there's excess, if we need more power than our reactors are outputting, they will simply go ahead and give it out. I think that's how they currently work. Yeah, and currently it looks like they're depleting? Stored power, current output, current input. So yeah, they're outputting right now just to make sure we got a power surplus, I guess. I think I might actually go ahead and switch those Sun's guns over to be semi-auto. Just so our reactor will just fill them back up when they go dry, and our reactor will have a little bit of a respite. Now, I don't think it'll use up too much more uranium. I'm probably wrong on that nonsense, but hey, that's what we're doing. Next time, Sage finishes dog-proofing the base, which involves a little bit more grinding and also the use of the grinder pit, which Sage had forgotten or never really noticed existed before. Also, remember what I told you to remember in this episode. Bye! Seriously though, this song is a ripoff from Stargate, isn't it? I mean, it's gotta be.